This is a tutorial on how to add eyelids to the eyes of your crochet plushies. The materials you will need will be scissors, a yarn needle, and the yarn color of your choice, whatever you'd like the eyelid to be. I usually choose the same color as the head of the plushie, but I'm sure you can be creative and use other colors as well. Start by threading your needle with the yarn. First, you should decide where you want the eyelid to be. I usually look, so this is my center, my starting magic circle right here. And I usually like to have the eyelid in line with that. So I kind of pinpoint where that is. So to begin, insert your needle in the top of the head of the turtle and bring out on the outside of the eye where you want your eyelid to connect. Kind of like if you were thinking of a human eye, it's kind of like the corner of your eye on the outside where you would like that to be. And then bring your yarn straight across the eye and go down through the turtle's head and out the other side where you inserted before. Okay, so when you do that, pull the yarn tight and then slowly move it up to the top of the eye like that. Okay, so pull it tight and then continue to do that until you get the size of the eyelid that you want. Okay, usually takes a couple to kind of build up on the outside there. And then when you go on it again, the eye starts to be covered. All this fluff comes out. So some people might want to stop there. I like to kind of have the eye, especially in turtles, I like to have the eye covered a little bit. So each time you're doing this, you're trying to go through the same holes on each side of the eye as you did before. So then, and then you just pull tight, just like that. I'm gonna go one more because I like a nice sleepy turtle. Okay, so just like that. So you'll see some people will ask, like, will this slip down? And of course, yes, if you're playing with it or if you're going on it, so it might slip down. As you can see, I'm kind of doing that. It's not, but I'm sure little fingers might. So then, obviously they just push it back up. So after you've done that, insert your needle back and go back to the top of the head and tie that stitch off. Because then if we mess up the other side, this eye is secure and we are done with this eye. But I like to still leave that the other still leave this here because that's where we'll officially tie off. Okay, so then I turn my turtle around and I'm going to do the exact same thing as this other eye. So trying to line it up with your center of your thing again to get like the same angle. You go back down through and out the other side of the eye. Okay, and then you'll do the exact same thing. So here, about here. The exact same thing as the other side. So continuing to feed that, make the eyelid. Might be worthwhile to count how many times you do it on each side so it's equal. I always have good intentions of doing that, and then I always forget. I kind of go by my own eyeballing how it looks. I'm going to do one more and then that one will be done. Pull it tight and then feed it up to the top again. And then close it off, tie it off, and then weave in your ends. I like to do this, these eyelids on my turtles. I've made some mushrooms that I've used these on. Just adds a little extra detail that sets your plushies apart or makes them unique. My husband actually gave me the idea of doing it, so I have to give him a little credit. Thank you, Sean. Okay, so those are our eyes. Move these fluffies that as you're sewing through. Yeah, so that is yeah. So that is how you do the eyelid for your crochet plushies. I also did, I wanted to show you that it also works for if you do yarn eyes. These eyes are from a YouTube video by HodgePodge Crochet. It's called Crochet Eyes for Your Amigurumi. And so I used that video to make these eyes, and they actually look really nice. I did add the eyelid, so I'll show you, I'll add the eyelid to the other side just so you can see that it does work on eyes like this as well. I find I like to use this type of eye if I'm doing yarn eyes instead of embroidering them on for turtles, because I like the turtle eyes to be a lot bigger than what I can accomplish with just doing the normal kind of embroidery eye. So let's just line this guy up. Okay. I didn't leave myself a big tail there, but that's okay. All right, and so let's do the same thing. The pattern by HodgePodge Crochet has this little glimmer. Probably if I do this again, I just won't add the glimmer, but I just wanted to, I didn't want to make other eyes, but because it does get covered up anyway. So again, pull it tight and continue to do your eyelid as many times as you want. Let's do one more, see if that's enough. Okay, there, I think that's pretty good. You still get a little bit of the glimmer there. All right, tie that off and weave in my ends. Okay, so there you have the crocheted yarn eyes and added eyelids. Okay, and we'll bring over our plastic guide with the eyelids, and you could see. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you create some eyelids on your crochet plushies. If you do, please send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube on this video, comment. I'd love to see what you've done and if you've tried this. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for further content. And until next time, happy crocheting.